What's good with it? I'm back with another one, guys. I literally just got back from watching Superman 2025. This is my raw, honest review. With that being said, prepare yourself because this is spoilers, okay? Man. Before I get into it, let me say this right here. Is the film worth going to the movies and watching? Yes, it is. Should you go see it? That's up to you. Is this review right here about to be spoiler? Yes, it is. So if you don't want to see it, if you have not seen the movie yet, and you want to not be spoiled, go ahead, click away from this video right now, because I'm about to get into it. Here we go. The movie starts off with James Gunn, the director, writing you and telling you, basically give you a quick backstory about metahumans and Superman coming to Earth as a baby and being raised by farmers. You know, they write the stuff on the screen, you know? Right as soon as it's done with that, you see Superman hurt. He just got his butt kicked to him. I'm going to keep things PG-13 here, okay? He gets his butt kicked. Mind you, and I might just go ahead and tell it, he gets his butt kicked throughout the whole entire movie. Okay? And the only time he really kicks butt is at the end of the movie, where the rest of the, I don't know if they were metahumans or creations of Lex Luthor, possibly whoever they were. You know, he beat the crap out of them and he, zapped them all with the eyes. That was it. That's the most badass thing he did throughout the whole entire movie. Then you see they had Green Lantern in the movie. They had Mr. Fantastic in the movie. And Hawk Girl in the movie. I'm looking at them and I'm like, is this Superman and Friends? Is this Justice League? Or did I pay to come watch Superman? Jesus the Christ. Man, I'll be honest with you. I was let down. I mean, of course, it's a positive message in the movie. Of course, I ain't gonna spoil that. It's a positive message in the movie. Lois knows she pissed me off. She, they at the house chilling, and at this time, he's Clark Kent. She knows he's Superman. And they got into a disagreement about some things, right? And then she gonna tell him, I know this wasn't gonna work out. And then she gonna tell him and say, how she said that thing? She said, I told you I wasn't good with relationships. I'm looking at, I'm a grown man. I'm in the theater, I'm like, so shit, you used to be in a bus down there. You know what I'm saying? FYI, guys, do the proper evaluation when it comes to women, okay? But yeah, man, that thing pissed me off. I said, now how she gonna tell that man something like that? Other than that, and shout out MVP to this movie. The MVP to this movie right here goes out to Crypto the dog. Shout out to Crypto. I'll come back to that in just a second. He gets Superman. He gets healed by the sun, of course. I don't like that they had him yelling as he getting healed. Those robots from his home planet, and his mom and his dad, his biological mom and dad, sent him to the planet Earth to avoid the destruction that was going to happen in Krypton. So they chose the planet Earth and they sent him right on over here. And he landed, and I believe, what was that, Kansas, somewhere in the South. And he was raised by Mama and Daddy Kent. And he got healed. They scrapped the robots or whatever that was from his planet, who his biological parents had sent with him or sent to the planet. And they scrapped him down, and they was holding him down in a chair. And then they had a healthy dose of the sun come and, heal him and help his vital organs and stuff like that. The yellow sun. Because the Krypton's planet has a red sun. So when they come to the yellow sun, that's how they get their powers. He then went back to battle, got his butt kicked again by Lex Luthor. And, well, not actually Lex Luthor. And I had a feeling it had to be a Kryptonian because it was inside this metal suit. And they were programming him and telling him how to counter every part of Superman's moves. Everything Superman did, he had a reaction and a counter time for it. So he beat the crap out of Superman again. And he also lasered a building or whatever. And then, later on, and I'm just going back and forth for the movie, guys, because like I said, it was a letdown for me. Lex Luthor cloned Superman. And he had this other female. She had this nano machines. And she was actually tracking Superman. And she found out where his hidden fortress, so to speak, was at. His biological parents and the robots and stuff. So Luthor gets the clone Superman and her, and they go to Superman's fortress. And because he cloned Superman, the clone was able to match the DNA of Superman and go into the fortress. They destroy all of the robots, and the female cyborg, or whatever she was able to hack into the machine, and they was able to steal and cipher Superman's biological parents' message to him. So to make a long story short, they leaked it online, and Lex Luthor went on some show, and they start talking about Superman and his parents and all that there, and then he plays the message. And I personally do not believe his parents did not send him to planet Earth to conquer. His planet did not send Kal-El, Superman, Clark Kent, to planet Earth to subjugate the people of planet Earth. I don't believe that's what that message was. The other half that they was able to decode was. I don't believe that's what that meant. If so, it was taken out of freaking context, okay? That's not true. So he gets, peed off about that. And he runs down Lex Luthor. He breaks into, his big old office or whatever, lookout. Then he gets into a fight with the cyborg girl, and his clone again gets his butt kicked again. James Gunn, what are you doing? You don't do that to Superman in his own freaking film. You're doing the same thing to Superman what Marvel did to the Hulk. Made him look like a straight up punk. And then you want to get mad when people say that Henry Cavill Superman is better than this one. You prove the people who believe that right. Jeez. Man. He gets his butt kicked again. And then Mr. Fantastic, whatever the black guy name is, I don't think, whatever the black guy name was, You know, the techno black guy or whatever. You know, I think he part cyborg and he know the computer stuff, technology, and all that stuff they too. But forgive me if I forget his name, all right? It ain't Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic is Marvel special guy. But anyway, long story short, I'm thinking Superman, okay, when he was fighting his clone and he was fighting the cybernetic girl, right? She was able to put nanomachines down his mouth, down his throat, and fill up in his lungs to try to suffocate him, okay? So Superman said, well, he's gonna fly up. I'm thinking he's flying up to the sun so he can have enough power to rip that stuff off. No, he flies up in space. She's holding on to him. The clone Superman is holding on to him. And she, of course, lost a lot of oxygen. And so he is able to plummet all the way back down and he survives the fall. She's hurt, but she's unconscious. Heart still beeping, but she's unconscious. Superman was able to, I guess by hurting her, the nanomachines was able to, I guess, got weakened. Since she got weakened, the nanomachines, and he was able to get the nanomachines and stuff off him, puke it off him or whatever. And long story short, after they leaked that stuff on him, he goes and he turns himself in, right? Well, no. First, he was hurt. Well, I think, yeah. First, he was hurt. Then he turns himself in. Lex Luthor was able to convince the government to put him into what they call the, it's like a parallel universe, like a phantom zone, like an extra dimension or whatever. And Lex Luthor is running his own freaking jail, okay? He has monkeys typing in the stuff on social media saying, oh, Superman ain't S, you know, Superman sucks. You know, a whole bunch of derogatory comments. He got like over 100 monkeys typing that stuff up. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that peed me off, back to the message was something real quick. People are so gullible. Huh? They forget about all the good Superman has done, how the countless lives he saved. And when they see that fake behind message of his parents talking or whatever, they turn on the man. So anyway, they lock him up. Lex Luthor has the government to lock him up in that dimension. Or they call it a pocket dimension. And this other superhero or this other metahuman who has a baby, he's able to like turn into like crystal rock. They have him, he has the ability to turn into rocks, different type of minerals. He can even create a sun. But before he does create the sun, he creates kryptonite. And it badly weakens Superman. So he weakens Superman, and then, you know, he felt bad for Superman, and Superman said, look, I can get us out of here. You can save your son. Can you make a yellow sun? And the guy says, I can't make a yellow sun, but I can make something to it. So he uses his power. He makes the hydrogen and whatever it takes to make a sun. You know, I ain't no chemist or nothing. You know, I ain't no science whiz now. But he uses his powers to make what you would call a sun. And he made it strong enough to where it was able to lighten up and heal Superman enough so Superman can get them up out of there. He's able to save Krypto. Because when Lex Luthor broke into to his place, you know, he kidnapped Krypto. So he saves Krypto first, and then he also saves the other guy's baby. All right. And make a long story short, the black guy and Lois Lane, they're able to come in and help save them, open the dimension back up from the other side. And to make a long story short, Superman, the other rock guy who can transform, make all them other minerals and the sun and stuff like that, his baby and Krypto, they're all able to get on back to the Earth side. After that happens, y'all, Superman was still beat the crap that he had needed to heal. He was able to heal enough, right? He then goes to his parents' house to sleep. A couple of days rest to get some get the heal or whatever. He has an emotional talk with his father, and Lex Luthor is working with the enemy, the other country, and they devise a plan. Superman has to either go stop the other country from invading, or he stopped the dimensional rift that's happening in Metropolis. So he goes to Metropolis to stop Lex Luthor, and he sends the Green Lantern, the guy that can shape-shift into other minerals and create the suns and stuff like that, and Hawkgirl to go stop the invasion of the other country. And then, they got the little kids in there. They have a yellow flag with the red Superman symbol. Well, this is the S, not the exact symbol, but Superman. They start chanting, Superman, Superman. If you're sentimental, I'm pretty sure you'll find that cute. Anyway, so Superman goes, he tries to stop Lex Luthor, but he ends up fighting his clone again. And again, the clone is beating the crap out of Superman. You hear me? Because he's being controlled, I believe, by he probably got a chip in his brain or something. And every command that Lex Luthor and those who are working for him, tell him, L this way, that way, this way, that way. Do this, do that. And they were countering Superman's every move. To make a long story short, Superman catches on to what they were doing. Lex Luthor runs his mouth into him and says, yeah, that's your clone. But cloning isn't perfect. He's an idiot. And that's how I was able to break into your fortress in Antarctica. Superman catches on that he's being controlled, that he can't fight him straight up himself. So he has Krypto to destroy the cameras that Lex Luthor has flying around. So that way they can't see Superman movements, and then he can then beat the crap out of his clone. So he does that. He beats the crap out of his clone. And then to try to stop the rift, the guy grabs Superman, the clone latches on to Superman's arm, and then a big old piece of like a skyscraper or something was coming down, and Superman, since he wouldn't let go, Superman grabbed him and slapped him into the debris, and he got stuck into the debris and went into that pocket dimension. So the clone Superman is stuck inside that pocket dimension. So him and the techno black guy, they go and they roll up on Luthor, and then he gonna call Lex Luthor calls Superman an alien, and Superman says, no, I'm not. I'm more human than you. I'm a human being. I have flaws. I make mistakes, but I do my best to do right every day and do right by people and save people. And that's what makes me me. And you too, you're human too. And then Lex Luthor goes on a rant. He start talking his ish, I'm like, man, if Superman don't go ahead, man, and slap the crap. Why you keep on babying this jerk, man? Man, as Lex Luthor kept on talking that noise, Krypto comes and start dog dragging his behind. And I said, there you go, Krypto. Good boy. Good boy. Superman, he gets Krypto to stop. He doesn't want to kill Lex Luthor, Yeah. So he beats the dog crap out of Lex Luthor. Okay, it was satisfying to watch. Matter of fact, people in the theater started clapping and applauding, and I did too. So, long story short, they was able to also while they were stopping Lex Luthor, the other heroes, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and the other guy, who had the power of the minerals and stuff like that and can create the sun. They go and they stop the army from invading. It starts with a B. I forget the name of it. So they stopped that other army. And after they stopped the army, Hawk Girl kills, I believe she killed the foreign leader. He talking, so yeah, you're not Superman, you're not going to kill me. You're just like, she said, I'm not like Superman. And she drops him. Oof, and he falls on a building. I believe he's dead or badly injured, one or the other. And but it was a cool scene to see Green Lantern. That Green Lantern flipped over all those trucks, with his powers. I thought he would have been doing more stuff like that with the ring, but man, he been walking smooth, just showing off. I've never seen that before. But evidently, he's a powerful Green Lantern. Because like I said, I haven't seen him use much of the ring. He's just been using the power like that, like it ain't been nothing. And he's flipping over the trucks and giving them the finger and knocking over the trucks and stopping the army and stuff like that from advancing into the city that they was taking over, saving the children and all that. I thought that was pretty cool. That was a real tough. I like that action scene. So they was able to I forget the guy's name, but he's one of Superman's closest friends. And to make a long story short, he was talking to Lex Luthor's girl. And I think he's a Lex Luthor girl was also his ex-girl, whatever. But she wanted to get back with him. She was sending him pictures, selfies of herself with information in the background with Lex Luthor dealings, information of what he was doing. And he was able to piece those things together. She gets caught, and Lex Luthor throw her behind into that pocket dimension. And they was able to leak that information to the government and to the news. So Lex Luthor gets found out. He gets his butt whooped by Crypto, the dog. And they put him in a vehicle. They don't lock him up because it's armored, so they didn't put no handcuffs on him. But he goes into a government vehicle and they drive off. Yeah, like that ain't suspicious, So they was able to stop Lex Luthor. Then Lois Lane goes to Superman after he saved the day. And like, oh, you want me to, interview you in the back. So they go inside this building, where the building has been evacuated. Nobody is in there. And then he grabs Lois Lane and gives her a bunch of, they start smooching. So her boss looks at one of Superman's friends and the guy who was able to get the pictures together, and he was like, so how long they been hooking up? Guy said for about 3 months now. Like the boss man already put two to two together that Superman is Clark Kent, because he looked right at him when Superman walked past him, and he grabbed Lois's hand. He looked at him, and he started nodding his head, piecing everything together, So yeah, he figured it out. Well, the scene then switches to Superman back at his fortress, and they don't show it, but he probably got that techno black guy or whatever to come and fix all of the robots that was in there. Because, all of a sudden, they back together, fixed, talking and all that there. So I'm pretty sure that black guy was the one who fixed everything, fixed them up. And, they talking and they said, he said, I'm not really who I thought I was, because my parents and this and this and that. So they said, oh yeah, your parents, we're going to show you something about your parents that's going to sue you. Now, I'm thinking they're going to show his biological parents again, because I do not believe again that his parents, I believe Lex Luthor switched up that message at the end. So, but they show his Earth parents, the parents who raised him, cared for him, brought him up. That's where they started, that's where the robot started showing. I was like, okay, that's fair. Well, then you see Supergirl comes in, and Krypto is actually her dog, and Superman was babysitting her dog, Krypto. But he really wasn't babysitting the dog because he had the cyborg, the robots watching the dog. And then, she stopped, instead of she just say thank you, she stopped, talking her crap to him, whatever, he just shake his head. Now, to me, wouldn't it have made, it would have made more sense if he would have asked Supergirl, hey, is this translation of what my parents said accurate? Is this what my parents really meant on the second half of that message that they left me? I figured he would have asked her that, but he doesn't even mention it. I'm like, man, you really gonna, Lex Luthor is the one who broke in and stole the message. Ask your cousin. Because Supergirl can speak their home language. Okay? But they didn't. They let it ride. Again, I might have to give this movie, and pretty much the movie went over. The movie was over after that. I might have to give this movie, I might have to give this movie a 2 out of 5 cool rays. Cool ray. I can't even say it more enthusiastic than that, y'all. I was a little disappointed. The movie is not bad, and it's not great either. The movie to me was okay. I didn't know if I was watching Superman or if I was watching Superman and Friends. You don't have the main character look like a straight up punk. You know what I'm saying? Superman got his butt kicked 95% of the movie. 95% of this movie, he was getting his butt tore up, man. What's up with that, WB? What's up with that, James Gunn? The visuals, here's some positive things. Here's an olive branch. The visuals were beautiful. Special effects, beautiful. The acting was also beautiful. I enjoyed the Superman actor and everybody else acting. The acting was good. It was good. What else did I like about the film? I also liked the suit. Superman suit was good. His suit reminded me of the old classic suit from the 50s, from the 40s, and the 50s. That's what his suit reminded me of. But ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Uchias, that's it for me. Comment down below. Tell me if you have seen this movie yourself. Let me know if you enjoyed the movie, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Tell me if you agree with me or if you don't agree with me, and if you think it deserves a higher rating. Well, 5,000 subscribers. Hooray!